Welcome back as we continue our live coverage of Tropical Storm Harvey.
It was a Category 4 storm, now down to tropical storm status, but still dangerous and still dumping rain all over south and central Texas. Let's head down to the Weather Center where Dan Robertson is standing by. Dan, what's the latest?
Well, I made the mistake of sticking my head out the door, and let me tell you, it is blowing out there really hard, and all of our measurements show that we've got wind speeds 40 to even 50 miles an hour, but when you experience them, it's kind of a different thing. So don't go anywhere at this hour, but just stick your head out the door and see what it's like. So a pretty serious situation continuing around the area. There's a live look at I-35 in Austin, rain and a lot of wind there. Here's our newsroom there in San Antonio near Commerce Street, looking to the south here. That's I-35 right there. Still seeing some very gusty winds and some briefly heavy rainfall. San Antonio, though, actually has been right on the western edge of the heaviest rain. We've seen very heavy rain in eastern Bexar County and then off towards Gonzales County, where the center of the storm is now. But just to the west of downtown San Antonio, rainfall amounts not all that significant there. Elsewhere, though, we continue to see the brunt of the storm rotate around to the north of the circulation, and that's typical of stalling tropical systems with the heaviest thunderstorm activity and the greatest risk of tornadoes well off to the east from about Matagorda Bay all the way up to Beaumont, Port Arthur, including most of the Houston area where we've seen a dozen or so tornadoes today, most of them pretty weak, but some minor damage in a lot of spots. As far as the winds, they continue to be from the north and northeast, gusting or at least blowing steadily anywhere from 25 to 35, even 40 miles an hour, and then gusts up to about 50. There's 51 miles an hour at New Braunfels, and we continue to see the very heavy rainfall falling down as Bastrop County still seeing heavy rainfall there. It's actually shifting the heaviest and most intense storms now to right along the I-35 corridor from, let's say, San Marcos all the way down to New Braunfels. A lot of flooding going on along the tributaries down there, and if you're anywhere near a waterway or a creek or even some ponds, you might be on the lookout for rising water. 290 is very, very wet. We're beginning to see some reports coming in from down around LaGrange. Highway 71 down there looks like it may get flooded here in the next hour or so, and at that point it may be impassable. Tornado watch to our east. Tropical storm warning continues through the night, and that flash flood watch says here until Monday. I think I just saw that they've extended that all the way to about Wednesday as more rain is expected. So far today, the heaviest along and east of I-35, not so much just west of San Antonio, but across the Austin metro area. A new record for the airport today this is at 4.41, but it's actually 4.61, I think now. More rain through the next 12 hours, all the way into Monday morning, all the way into Tuesday morning. More rain expected across the region, so not out of the woods by any long shot yet. We've still got lots of wind and rain to go. Ed, Meg?
All right, Dan, thank you very much.
And now, as we mentioned, we have reporters staged all over the coast. Our Carlos Garcia is in Victoria and joins us now. It's been a while since we've been able to get in touch with you, Carlos. It's so good to see your face. Actually, you've been without power. I know you were taken in by a newspaper and for shelter, and you guys were, surviving off a generator, I guess. Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder. Tell us what's been going on out there.
Hey guys, well, the key word here has been consistency. Rainfall just hasn't let up at all. We're reaching now hour 36 of just non-stop rain. Now, it's important to emphasize just how slow this storm is moving. I don't know if you can see at all, but it's just keeps coming in, and it's just impressive and sort of imposing just how strong this storm has been. Now, even though it's still dangerous to be out, I managed to tag along with one Victoria couple who sheltered along with me at the Victoria Advocate newspaper, shout out to them, to see damage of their home. Take a look at this video now. On the way, we saw tons of damage, including downed power lines and cable lines, fence damage, roof damage, uprooted trees blocking roads. The roads here in Victoria are littered with debris from the overnight storm. I'm told there is a citywide boil water notice here, and at least a few buildings that I've been and visited with has water shut down altogether. Now back to that couple that that let me tag along with them. We got to their home, and fortunately, their home sustained minor damage. We're talking leaks from the roof, a down fence, but fortunately, the house itself is still standing. Now, they didn't just go back to scope out the damage. There was a bit of a sentimental mission in there as well. Let's listen in.
It's been very, very terrifying, and not knowing, if they're okay, and they're all having water leaks, the roofs are missing.
Now, as of noon today, the Victoria County's Sheriff's Office told me that first responders are actually now being able to go out into the community and assess the damage, you guys.
And they are predicting upwards of 15 inches of rain in that area, so most certainly we are going to be watching the city of Victoria closely.
Yeah, we're going to be watching all over South and Central Texas. So we have another reporter, lots of them. One of them is Jeff Stensland, who is in Wharton right now, which is about what, Jeff, 60 miles southwest of Houston, right?
It is. I'm actually getting pretty close to the Houston metro area over where Katie is. You're going to see some wind kind of knocking my camera here a little bit. So I got a little bit hesitant there in the boxes there with you guys. But I'm now in East Bernard. This is right behind me, the San Bernard River. You can see another band of rain that's just coming in here. I just drove through this when I came over from Wharton. This is going to dump probably another inch or so. I don't know. A lot of rain on here in just a little bit of time. It's a piece of the red band there that you just saw on Dan's radar a little bit ago. Now the San Bernard River is going to crest perhaps on Tuesday at a record level of 46.7 feet. Now its record was 42.4 feet set back in 1998. Now that has this area where I'm standing right now. This will be inundated with water along with several homes nearby, a couple dozen homes in this area in the town of East Bernard. Those families have evacuated at this point. They were encouraged to get out yesterday before the storm arrived. Now with the downpours of rain coming in here, they say that this is why they need to be able to get to high ground and stay there.
We had Highway 59 closed by that river. We had Highway 90 in East Bernard closed by that river. So this would be up there in that catastrophic range. We have a number of people that would be affected.
I wanted to step out of the shot really quick so you guys can just see the wisps of rain coming by here, the sheets of rain that are coming out here. I'm underneath a gazebo that I found at this park here in East Bernard. This is just what's going to be starting here. This will probably last here about another 20-30 minutes, but this can drop a lot of rain very quickly, as we know in Central Texas right now. That's why they are saying that this, along with many other waves just like this, could cause about another 15 to 20, maybe 30 inches to fall here. Right now we're live in East Bernard. Jeff Stensland, Spectrum News.
Appreciate the update, Jeff. We'll check back in with you later this evening.
Yeah, just to give you an appreciation of how unique, how historic an event this is. The last major hurricane to hit anywhere in the United States, here, Florida, anywhere in the East Coast, Gulf Coast, was Hurricane Wilma in 2005. It's been 12 years, a dozen years, and that is the longest drought we've ever seen in the United States since we started keeping track of these things. And not only that, but here in Texas, we haven't seen a Category 4 since 1961. That was Hurricane Carla, which made landfall near Port Lavaca. So here in Texas, around the United States, this is just not something that we have dealt with very often.
Right. And then the fact, the movement, the slow movement and the looping pattern of the storm, our meteorologists keep telling us it's unprecedented.
Yeah, it's got a high pressure area to the west, a high pressure area to the east. And of course, we'll let Rich Siegel in just about a minute explain that further to us. But the steering currents, there's nowhere for it to go, and that's what we feared, that this thing would get here and just stall, and like you said, do a little bit of a loop, and then after that, after 3-4 days, we just don't know where it's going to go. And hurricane, as it was, Harvey, made landfall last night around 11 o'clock just north of Corpus Christi, and has been dumping rain on Texas ever since. We've got our Rich Siegel now, who is standing by in our weather center. Rich, what's the latest?
Well, the winds have dropped off just a little bit so far as the center of the storm is concerned, but you really couldn't tell that by what I'm hearing outdoors. We have our patio, and the door just flew open because we've got some strong northeast winds in our area now. But we still have some heavy rain falling between Austin, down along and west of I-35 from Buda, Kyle, San Marcos out toward Driftwood and Wimberley, and then this extends on into the New Braunfels area, and then to see the lighter precipitation in the San Antonio area. But we're still finding the center in DeWitt County. It has not moved a great deal today, and as a result, we are, oh gosh, let's get rid of that and go back to where we want to get to, which is this. We see just again the outer rain bands still coming in from the Gulf, now pushing a little further towards the west, and we're seeing now more of this near about Palacios and Victoria, extending on up and then wrapping and taking a direct aim right into Austin. And so we are going to continue to see this rain off and on through the rest of the night. Highest wind estimate yesterday when Harvey made landfall was at Port Aransas, 132-mile-per-hour wind reported there, 125 at Capano Village, and then today we've had peak gust of 58 at New Braunfels, at Randolph, 55 at San Antonio International, and 52 at Austin Bergstrom. And so that strong winds are expected to continue with that tropical storm warning remaining in effect. This is what has us so greatly concerned, and we've been talking nonstop about this. This is where the storm is now. This is where it's going, and then it's going to take a turn. It's going to loop, and now as we look to the future, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the storm pushes a little further to the west. This is a little more of an update than we had earlier today, as a tropical depression area of low pressure getting closer to our viewing area, still putting Houston, Galveston, Palacios, Victoria on the east side where the heavier rain would be, but moisture wrapping around this will continue to see rain into the area as late as Thursday, and that may continue on to Friday and Saturday. So again, it's just got very little steering currents with it right now, and as we see, again, it takes the loop, comes back down to around Sinton, and then heads up through Victoria to east of Schertz, and then on up to, it looks to me to be very close to Rockdale in Milam County. So this is the thing that just frightens us, because we just don't know. You know, normally when a storm like this hits, as it did last night, it would have taken a course that would have taken it from Corpus Christi perhaps up to the San Antonio area into the hill country. But that isn't what happened, because as soon as the storm made its landfall, it slowed down and again still over DeWitt County. Tropical storm warnings remain for Atascosa, Bexar, Comal, Hayes, Wilson, Guadalupe, Caldwell, Bastrop counties are the counties that are shaded in blue. That's where the wind advisory is until 10 o'clock tonight. So much with this, and still the probability of 80 to 100% chance that from Austin to San Antonio eastward to the coast, the tropical storm force winds are going to be felt. So much to tell you, and we'll be back with more coming up at 51 past. Meg, Ed?
Thanks so much, Rich. We will see you then.